making some cornbread. And making my own version, so I'm adding some whole kernel corns in there. For my dry ingredients, let's put this aside here. I got half a cup of oatmeal flour. The recipe calls for more if it's actual flour, but when you're using oatmeal, you want to bear that in mind that it takes in a lot of liquid, so you want to cut back on that amount. And then I want, that's 1.5 1.25 cup of cornmeal. And with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking soda, and just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of sugar, but I'm going to be using the agave, so I'm going to be adding it to my wet ingredients. And that's my butter slash shortening if you don't have butter, but I'd rather work with the butter, more flavorful. And yeah, so I'm going to just mix this up, incorporate it. Now for my wet ingredients, I'm going with 2 cups of heavy cream, that's 2 cups. And that's my eggs. I have 3 whole eggs. Roll can in here, and it's not going to be a very, you don't want your cornbread sweet, so I'm going in with just 2 teaspoons. Just ignore the fact that this is a tablespoon measurement. I didn't fill it. Got 2 teaspoons of that, and I already have my salt is missing. And I'm gonna do a dash of vanilla. Crossing my wires. So the vanilla would only go into the sweetened version. Whoa. Alright, so we're going to combine all of this together. My wet ingredients, I'm going to be adding, this is 2 ounces of butter. And I'm going to be melting it to add to the wet ingredients. Butter is melted, so I add it to this one. Ooh, it's a little warm. I temper it in before I already scrambled my eggs. Alright. La la la. Tricks and trades and matches balls. Okay, so now just to marry both wet and dry ingredients, I'm gonna go in before that with half of the cup of the can of corn. You can add as much as you like if you want to add that, or as little, or you can omit it. This is my thing. So okay, all of that goes in. Let me keep that down just to monitor this. You can tell that spring is here in my kitchen because my fruit flies are out for no reason. They're not out because I have anything attracting them. They're out because they have nowhere to be outside. Okay, so now you just marry both wet and dry. I like a more moist cornbread, so okay, so yeah, this is it. You work with the normal flour. This same recipe, it would look a little dry right now with the same amount of liquid, but it has the oatmeal flour, so it tends to look a little runny at this stage, but it's okay because you know what oatmeal does, it's gonna expand. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going in with an 8-inch tin. It's already pre-greased. I'm not gonna line it. You know you want the crust and crispiness of this cornbread. And I want it all. So here we go. This is now ready to go in the oven. 350. Sorry, that's 450 at 45 minutes. Yeah, so now it's time to clean up and wait for my bread to be ready. And after 35 minutes, my cornbread is out, nice and golden. Can't wait to cut into this and taste it. I'm gonna give it 2 minutes to get it out of the tin and get it on a cooling rack. Okay, this is super hot. So I'm gonna get just to release the edges. And get it on a speed or on a cooling rack. civil so it doesn't get still a little. Now I lost the bottom because I refused to grease that until okay, here we go. This is my very tasty cornbread, very moist and mild, you know, not you know when the cornbread are like grainy cornbread separated kind of thing. This is a difference. I'm gonna cut a slice right now so you can see what it looks like on the inside. I'm just a little regretting that I've lost the base because I try to get it out of the tin before it cools down, because that's what we do normally as bakers. Yum. But unfortunately I was being my stubborn self and did not line it with a grease paper, which I should. Yeah, so I'm reaping the consequences of that. Other than that, it doesn't take away from the nice cornbread that it has turned out to be. So yeah, let me get a slice so we can see it together. And there. Wow. The crumbs of the thing is making a mess. Well, let's get a slice of this goodness. Yeah, cornbread like no other. You can see it. This is what you want your cornbread to look and feel like. Super moist, not grainy, and very mild on the tongue. Yum. Let's have a taste. You can tell I've been snacking on the base that cools off in the pan. Yummy. And the very good thing about this cornbread is that it is gluten free. I go to restaurants more time and they say that they serve cornbread and they say it's gluten free, but when you check on the ingredients you see flour mixed in it. This one has just oatmeal and cornmeal. So oat flour and cornmeal. And yeah, this is the outcome. You should try it sometime and thank me later.